The Ravens just traded Odafe Oweh to the Chargers. We'll talk about the trade details and what Eric DeCosta might still have up his sleeve. We'll also take a look at the new safety the Ravens just got and dive into his background. All that and more in this episode of the Flock Rundown.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Second one of the day. I literally just dropped an episode talking about the CJ Gardner-Johnson signing and everything, and then as soon as I uploaded it, boom, Odafe Oweh traded to the Chargers. Let's dive into the trade details. The Ravens received safety Alohi Gilman and a 2026 fifth-round pick, and then the Chargers receive Odafe Oweh and the Rams' seventh-rounder in 2027. That Rams' seventh-round pick originally came to the Ravens in the Tre'Davious White trade when the Ravens traded for him, and the Ravens might get a seventh-round comp pick for Tre'Davious White signing back in Buffalo this year. This is mainly a cap-clearing move. We'll talk about Alohi Gilman and what he could bring to the Ravens a little bit later, but trading Odafe Oweh right now is to clear cap space and get something for him, because Alohi Gilman's also a free agent next year. I don't think he's going to command anywhere near what an Odafe Oweh would command if we did want to re-sign him. Maybe they, think that they can get some value there by potentially extending him early if that's someone they want to stick around. But I really think this is just get something for Oweh. He's not performing this year. It's a contract year. He's on his fifth-year option that we picked up, and he has no sacks. He doesn't have a high win rate and is just really not having a great season so far. I think the Ravens are just like, look, we can find this production at least elsewhere, or we can clear some cap space right now to go make another move. I think this is what's really going on. I saw Jeff Zrebiec say this as well. You have to think that Eric DeCosta has more moves up his sleeve by clearing this much cap space in the middle of the season. The Ravens are going to pay Gilman $2.5 million for the rest of the season, but they are relieved of paying Oweh's remaining salary, which is $9.5 million. Fall's here. Football is back. This is my favorite time of the year, but life is still as busy as ever. So finding time to make full meals is never easy. That's why I love Factor. Their chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals make it simple to eat well, save time, and still enjoy something delicious no matter how busy the week gets. Factor's extended their selection of weekly meals. They now have premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. I use Factor daily. I recommend that you guys do too. Lately, I've been loving the ginger teriyaki salmon over forbidden rice. So eat smart at factormeals.com/flock50off and use code flock50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's code flock50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. And this trade leaves the Ravens' struggling pass rush unit and defensive line pretty thin. We got Kyle Van Noy, Mike Green, Tavius Robinson, David Ajabo, Malik Ham on the practice squad, Kamon Rucker on the practice squad. We will have Adisa Isaac returning at some point this season, but this leaves that Ravens outside linebacker room pretty thin right now, so I have to imagine a move is coming. Eric DeCosta is not just shipping Oweh out this early in the season and not getting a huge return, so it is clearly a cap move, and they weren't going to pay Oweh anyway next year, so get something for him and clear some cap space now, because the Ravens are going to go make another move. They're going to bring in another outside linebacker, an edge rusher, pass rusher to bolster this unit. I don't know who it is. Kayvon Thibodeau makes sense to me. Somebody that is also looking for that next contract, and maybe the Ravens feel like they can just kind of do a swap there, and I like him better than Oweh. And it doesn't have to be an outside linebacker addition either. I mean, getting interior defensive lineman, someone to replace Matabike, someone that can just wreak havoc in the trenches, would also help a ton. So just anybody on the defensive line, I'm for adding to this room. And I think clearing this much cap room and the Ravens being in the position that they are with Matabike not coming back, I mean, everything's on the table for the Ravens to be as aggressive as possible. I was pretty shocked that the Ravens are getting this aggressive this early, shipping out an Odafe Oweh, which probably, isn't going to help you this week, but the Ravens are going to make another move in the next 2 weeks and have a different unit coming after the bye. I just got a feeling that this is not for nothing. This is not to tank the season. I know there might be some theories about that. The Ravens gave up. They just traded Oweh and got something for him. I think the Ravens want to clear cap space right now for a reason. So excited to see what kind of moves they make. I mean, Odafe Oweh has not been performing up to even his own standard. I mean, last year he had 10 sacks. He had a way better year last year. Put on some weight. He said he was going to be stronger and just as fast, and he's just not game wrecking out there. He's not winning enough matchups, and he's got a lot of one-on-ones. It's not like all the attention's going to Odafe Oweh. He should be winning some matchups out there and getting to the quarterback, and we just haven't seen it. So the Ravens are moving on early, clearing cap space, and I'm excited for what's next. Let's take a look at Alohi Gilman, which is another depth safety the Ravens now received in this trade. He's been on the Chargers since 2020. Every year of his career, he's played there. This season, he's played in all 5 games, 22 tackles, 11 solo tackles. He's got 5 career interceptions. And he was also the team captain during Kyle Hamilton's freshman season at Notre Dame. Hamilton took over for Gilman's starting spot the following season. The Chargers selected Gilman in the 6th round of the 2020 draft. And now Hamilton and Gilman are reunited in Baltimore. This is another veteran depth safety that the Ravens are adding to this room. I don't know if it moves the needle a ton. I think this trade was more about getting out of Odafe Oweh's contract and clearing some cap room, but we'll take another depth safety. It's kind of in the same category of CJ Gardner-Johnson. I just dropped an episode like an hour ago before this one and talked about that signing, and I just feel that the Ravens are trying to get experience into that room because, a guy like Ruben Lowry, although has a lot of potential, had a great offseason, is probably just not ready or not trusted by the coaches to be consistently out there. And if, we have a thin room, if we have any other injuries already. So I think that they're just adding as much depth as possible. Malachi Starks, Kyle Hamilton, if he's healthy, is still going to be the options. But I think CJ Gardner-Johnson and now Alohi Gilman provide some nice veteran depth. There's a lot of more experience in this Ravens defense. We just had 5 rookies out there, a couple undrafted rookies. I think they're going to start putting a lot more experienced players out there. But that's it for this episode. I just want to come on and talk to you guys about this Odafe Oweh trade. I'm shocked that it happened this early in the season, but it makes sense, especially if another move is around the corner. So let me know what you guys are thinking about this trade. Who do you think the Ravens will go get with this newfound cap space? Or do you think the Ravens are tanking and they're not going to make any moves? Let me know what your thoughts are. Appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out.
Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the Flock Rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly.